My name is Spencer. I'm Spencer Teng. I'm based in Singapore, taking care of the Caddy business for Caddy for Erico for the Asia market. So the market I cover range from China right up to India. The Caddy business is basically a very important part of the Erico business. Erico is a US company that is based out of Solon, Ohio. If you know that basketball team, the Cavaliers, which is in Cleveland, LeBron James, as what they call LBJ, most of my guys support the Cavalier teams. We are about 45 minutes away from Cleveland. Right? So the Cavalier basketball team is one of the teams that Erico also supports a lot. The presentation today, I would like to cover it in two areas. One, we'll talk about seismic grazing products. Then the other range I want to talk about is more on the products that can be sold on a daily basis to the plant protection contractor and also to maybe a dealer, probably which is more, I would classify as more day-to-day sales rather than the seismic. So I will cover the seismic grazing first. I'll introduce the company, who we are as an organization. Then I'll talk about what's the principle behind why this earthquake hazard has caused or has expanded this seismic grazing business throughout the world. And of course, we'll talk about the products. I will touch also briefly on grazing system calculator, which is a software. The engineering team today will cover very quite detailed the software. But the engineering team this morning, together with my colleague Michael, they will really cover more on how to really the practical approach to do the design when you go out there and you bring the inquiry back to the office, and when the engineering team has to do the design, this is where we want them to cover. Okay? Seismic grazing requires more engineering support as compared to the hanger, the beam clamp. Right? So that's the reason why the engineering team plays a very critical role in that side of the business. There's also another reason why we are focusing together with, we had a discussion with Hussein, the boss, on providing more technical and engineering support for the seismic grazing. Is that we believe eventually, give it maybe another year or so, our US competitor will start to come into the Indonesian market, because we have seen what our competitors does. If they wait for Erico, they wait for Caddy to open the market first, right? Then they will come in to sell on price. So the strategy behind this engineering support is that we know that our competitor cannot provide that kind of engineering support. So it's either you buy, you install yourself, right? And it's a good example. I think you all know that your first project that we did for PT Saberindo was PT Goodyear. When Saberindo got the order for PT Goodyear, right, the competitor, like a brand called Anvil, was very eager to also quote to PT Saberindo to try to go into the market. But there was no technical support. And it so happened that when I talked to Marcus, it was the right timing that we managed to appoint Saberindo as a distributor. And so what we will see is that a lot of, even for example, like Procter & Gamble, P&G, the contractor also ran around to look for other brands in the market just to get a comparison on price, and hopefully they win the market. So the plan is to make this engineering support a very important part of the sales process, so that the consultants that are designing the seismic grazing, the contractor that's going to do the installation, understands that it's not a simple, it's not a buy and install product. There is a value. So the whole idea is to make this standard so high, we set the standard very high in the market. So by the time competitor come, the contractor asks them for technical, they don't know how to answer, and they will still come back to us. The other strategy that I guess maybe because I interact more with Samuel is that for the insurance company like FM Global, okay, it's a requirement now for any projects that they have in Indonesia to install site security. And we partner FM Global very closely in the sense. FM Global would not, if people would ask FM Global, which is an insurance company, what brands would they recommend? Usually they put Caddy as the first brand because they know that we have very strong engineering support. So I will cover that to give you the understanding that why is there a plan to do that, and what are we doing to prevent the competitors from. The competitors will come. There's bound to have competition, but we are preparing that by the time they come, the standard is so high. People look at them and we are the one that knows the business. These are the people that just want to sell the product. So at the end of each session, if there's any questions, please feel free to ask me. Do not hesitate. In my thought, there's no question is a stupid question. Right? So we can do this product training very interactive. That is fine with me because that's also for me to understand the Indonesian market. I may know something about the Indonesian market, but you are the expert that goes in to the field every day, to talk to the contractors, to talk to the owners, to talk to the designers. You understand it better, right? If I speak too fast, please tell me to slow down. This is typically of the Singaporean, we talk very fast. We are not so relaxed, like, right? So please let me know if I speak too fast. Right? So I start by telling you who we are as an organization. Now, as I mentioned, Erico, it's a US company. We are based in Solon, Ohio. This company was set up in 1903. So it's 112 years old. There's a lot of history behind us, right? The word Erico actually means railway improvement company, electric railway improvement company. Okay? So we started the business really in the Kereta Api site. So what you see in this picture is that this is a maintenance car that goes on the Kereta Api track to maintain the track and to maintain the signal. We are so passionate about this business that in Erico we have a team that just specialized to go through this Kereta Api business. Right? So, like for example, now the MRT. Right? My colleagues are working with the MRT on this MRT, mainly more for the products that is for anti-curtail, grounding system, and safe arresters. For Erico, we are actually very famous in Indonesia for our lightning protection system. If you go to Ponoko Village, Chevron, Pertamina, PLM, you will find a lot of specification is actually the Erico specification for grounding system and lightning protection system. A bit of history, a brief introduction about myself. I joined Erico in the year 1998. So the first 4 years of my career in Erico, I was handling the Caddy product for Southeast Asia and also the Indian market. Then in the year 2002, I joined the lightning protection team, the Erico team was doing grounding, lightning, and search arresters. Right? So I was handling the Indonesian market for anywhere close to maybe 8.5 to 9 years. Right? And in that course of work, I would go to companies like Chevron, Ponoko Phillips, Pertamina, PLN, and all that to do a lot of spec work. So I work with the owners, I work with the customers to get our spec. So in Indonesia, you find that people may misunderstand that when you say you are a distributor for Erico, they think that you're also doing anti-curtail. Okay? We have a distributor that's doing the anti-curtail system. The name of the company is called PT Kota Union. They handle the oil and gas market for us. Right? Then there's another distributor called Anand. They handle more of the commercial building business for the anti-curtail side. So in 2011, I rejoined back the Caddy team to take care of a bigger portfolio to the Asian market. Right? So these are the three brands that you find that Erico has in terms of products. Caddy is one of them. Erico is the lightning protection, grounding system, and surge arrestor. Lantern is more of a silver structure product for the rebar couplers. We don't sell very much in the Indonesian market. Right? Okay, so you'll find that these are our logo, the Caddy man, Erico, and these are all our registered trademarks. Caddy is one of them, Eriflex, Eritech, Cadwell. So this is, you'll see a lot of specifications have such words like Eritech lightning protection, Cadwell grounding system, right? Because of the trademark and because of the specification we've done. Now, let's talk about what sort of business we basically handle for our company, right? So in commercial side, industrial side, basically we were more of these factories, right? Procter & Gamble was one of them. Goodyear is one of those examples, right? That we serve those commercial, residential, industrial markets. Right? Utility here is more of your PLM, the ones that produce the power and distribute the power. Telecommunication, one of our biggest customers actually here for telecommunication market is Excelcom. Okay? I was very involved with them to design their base transmission station for the grounding system and for the lightning protection. Right? And of course, the rail is currently, you all have Kereta Api, and of course the MRT, and then infrastructure. Infrastructure could be the airport, which will say yes, this Soekarno-Hatta Airport. If you go to the domestic terminal, which is Terminal C, I think, before the international terminal, you will find the lightning protection that looks like a dome-shaped gold in color. Okay? That is the Erico product. Okay? So we have installed in that terminal a whole row of lightning protection. Now, so you will find, for example, right, this is our lightning protection system, right? You find it in some buildings or in some infrastructure. Then this is more of the Erico product range, right? Now, more important, I want to focus on this Caddy range, right? The Caddy business is divided again into a very focused business. We have divided into 4 or 5 groups of focused business, but generally if you break it up, it's split up between electrical and mechanical. So for the mechanical side, we have specialty hangers and fasteners to support plumbing, rooftop, HVAC, fire protection, and seismic. From electrical side, we have products to supply anything from electrical installation right through to the data center, right through to the telecommunication tower. Right? So it's a very focused business. But today we're just going to cover the fire protection side, right? Because that's what Saberindo business is into fire protection. Okay, so we have a global presence. We actually have an office in Jakarta. It's at the Sapona Tower. I used to go to that office a lot, but there's basically one, we have for the lightning protection, the Erico side, we have one engineer based in Jakarta to support the distributor. So my goal for Caddy is to develop the business that I can hire a local engineer to be supporting you all on a daily basis, right? To work out, to help you all talk with consultants, support you technically. So my target really is that by 2017, I should have a sales engineer to be based in Jakarta, right? To support the distributor for just the Caddy. Okay. Now, this fire and seismic team is a global team that we formed in 2011. Right? I am a bit unusual for Caddy business. Is that if the salesperson is doing fire and seismic, they only handle fire and seismic. But because of my experience, I handle the 4 product groups. Right? I oversee the fire and seismic. I also help in the HVAC business. I also help in the electrical side. So it's a very focused team, right? We serve a very niche market, right? And one of our strategies is we come up with very innovative product development, which I'll talk about when we go into the product. Right? So what it is that really, if you look at the fire sprinkler side, right, you're talking about hanging. Hanging is these things that hang the pipe, right? So if you go to projects, you see the pipa being hanged by the hangers. Okay? The hangers being used now in Indonesia, I believe, is imported from China with no approval. Right? So we have the hangers that have FMEO approval. So that's another market in this product. I'll talk about it later. Right? Our belief really is that the Caddy products will help the installer save time. Saving time means saving installation costs. Even though you find that the labor cost in Indonesia is not very high, okay? But remember this: if the contractor is slow in finishing the work, it costs them liquidated damages, LD charges, right? And this could mean a lot. Also, understand that our products, for example, don't need to use special tools. So when you're talking about trying to install something at 8-9 meters and you need to bring a special tool to go out, it's very time consuming. Right? So we have developed products to make it to be very time saving. Right? So that's where the Caddy products are well known for worldwide. So how do we enter the market? Our route to the market is very simple. This is me representing the Caddy. Saberindo will be the distributor. Saberindo will go talk to the contractors, end users, consultants, and all that. So we do not enter the market directly. In every country that we operate in, we do not enter the market directly. Okay? And also, the other difference is we do not have belief in having too many distributors. Okay? We're not like a Typo, we're not like a Viking where they have multiple distributors, and sometimes the distributors fight among themselves as doing the project. So we tend to deal, for example, with this fire products, we only deal with Saberindo. We do not, any inquiries that comes, let's say a contractor, after you go and do your spec work, right? Contractor always like to maybe try to contact Caddy to see whether they go. Often the way we see the risk, we say please contact PT Saberindo. Okay. And most of the time, as we move on in this relationship, I will get a project update from one of your from either from boss himself or one of you, say, "Sir, these are the projects that we're working on." So if any time we receive inquiry, right, we know what projects we're talking about. So we would not let the contractor or let another so-called trying to be our agent to come and control the market. It's important. I stress this a lot because I've seen, for example, some of the big brands, when they don't manage this well, they don't care whether, ultimately they know they buy from, the brand will be used. But whether they buy from distributor A, distributor B, they don't care. But in Areco, we don't want to operate like this because it becomes very confusing in the market, and more often than not, the price will have a problem. Because if Samuel is competing with you, the same product, you cannot offer any difference. The only difference you offer is either delivery or price, right? And because of that, then she's also trying to compete with both of you, so it becomes 5% less, 5% less. Then they come back to me, Spencer, this project, we need more discount. Okay? And then we give the discount. At the end of it, the price just keeps going down. So for 112 years of Areco operation, we do not believe in that route. Okay? Big brands like maybe these guys, okay, they can because they are big. Okay? We are not. Okay? Our turnover is 580 million, but we are a privately owned company. So we are not being pressured by the shareholders or by the investors, people to change the model. So our model has been kept that way. Okay? So we will continue with this model as we move on. So what we will happen is this: Caddy will interact a lot with Saberindo, and together we will interact with the contractor and end user, but more so for the technical side, not so much for the commercial side. So you will find that if I may say, I make a sales call with Samuel, then people say, hey, can you give us a price? I said, no, please go to Samuel or PT Saberindo, because we only take care of technical side. Okay? This is something that I emphasize a lot, because I want, as we are starting this business relationship, I want all of you to be very clear, this is how we go. So you don't have to worry about, you quote, then somebody's going to come and quote again and again. Even a very good example is this. Who was involved in PT Goodyear from the start?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Huh? Vika, right? Okay. You know, eventually, the subcontractor also contacted me to try to get a price. Okay? And I said, look, no, Saberindo, you want to go to this. Okay, no problem. So you just imagine that, you know, it's nature that we want to get the best price. It's nature. It's not that. We want always, in everything we do, just like we buy something, we also want to get the best price. We want to buy a camera, we want to get the best price. So that's natural. But we want to make sure too that in doing so, we do not upset the relationship with the distributor. So this is where you will find this as a very common. We operate on a very open communication basis. So any inquiries that comes in, usually, and all our customer service are being trained that when they receive inquiry, we do not quote over the phone. So we are asked, where are you from, the name of the company, person in charge, what product are you interested, and it will always refer to the manager in charge of the product. And then it's up to the manager to direct it to the distributor. Any questions so far? Please feel free to ask. I mean, you probably don't know me too well, but like I said, I want to spend a little bit more time on this topic so that you all can have a very good understanding of how we go into the market. You think it's a good way of this kind of relation? I mean, I will come, like we talk about it in the car, right? If I'm coming in July, I usually will let our person know in advance. So then from Monday when I arrive, we can go plan calls on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Personally, I do not like to be in office. I'm not an office-bound guy. The war is outside, the war is not in office. So my job is to support the distributor to go out there and win more jobs. Okay? So no question, let's go to the earthquake hazard. This is what is the hazard that's caused by the earthquake, and that leads to the requirement of seismic bracing. I think some of you have heard this yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when an earthquake happens, the biggest damage that's caused is usually the shape, right? So, if I use this box example, this is a building, right? So when an earthquake comes, the shock wave comes, it basically causes the building to move. And when the building shakes, what happens is this. We probably can't see this, but you see electrical services on top, HVAC, plumbing, gas, every services. So the services are knocking each other. Right? And because they knock each other, it creates a damage. Okay? What a lot of people, a lot of consultants or a lot of owners don't understand. If you look at a project, a total cost of project, 20% to 30% of the cost is only on the structure. 70 to 80% is on the MEP services. That means the mechanical, the electrical, and the plumbing. Fire services, fire protection, I estimate, right, out of the 70%, takes about close to 20% of the 70%. Electrical is probably another big one, and the other one that's very big is actually in the plumbing side, depending on what sort of project. But if you look at industrial project, the fire protection takes up quite a big piece of that, the total, the MEP cost. Right? But what has happened is that a lot of the owners do not understand. They keep thinking about protecting the building. They don't think about protecting the mechanical and electrical services. So this is where we are coming in to go back to tell the consultants and the owners, no, you must look at protecting your mechanical and electrical services. Right? So really, if you look at it, the largest component in earthquake loss is really the shape. Okay, that's causing that. Next is, as I mentioned, a lot of attention has been now to look at how can we make this building to be more earthquake resistant. Just like in Indonesia, you talk about all your buildings at Jalan Gen Sudirman, they are all being designed for earthquake. That means they can withstand an earthquake. But earthquake comes, the building will still shake. When the building shakes, the services that is not protected will not engage each other, and that causes damage, as I mentioned. Right? So we are seeing is that in developed countries they have now make it that the building will be more earthquake resistant, but they are now paying more attention to MEP bracing, right, to prevent this thing from moving and getting damaged. So you'll find that in Indonesia, this is the same track. The structural engineer will start to look at building the building to be more earthquake resistant. So now it's our job to go to the MEP consultants, the NE consultants or MEP consultants, and say, listen, you must look at the ratio for seismic for the MEP services. I'll talk about why now we only talk about fire protection later. Sorry. So the damage that results is really the sudden release of the energy from the earthquake, right? So it could be a seismic wave, a wave motion, right? Or it could be the surface rupture, right? So it's the earth, as we know that there's a few fault lines in the world, right? So basically what happens is that this surface will just rupture to cause it, right? The other one, like I said, is the earthquake, the wave motion that comes underneath the building. But really, the biggest cause, as I said, is this one, not so much of a rupture. If you look at recently, if you look at Nepal, right? Nepal is really more of the damage is caused by the building collapsing. Right? Not so much of that slippage of that physical earth, the earth did not. It's just that the building, the seismic wave creates the cause of the building to collapse. Now, there are some signs to the hazard. Different for FN Global, for example, right? Okay, let me maybe take one step back. I think I asked this question before. For those that I did not ask, I bet this only today. Do you all know what factory mutual is? FN Global. Do you all know? It's actually an insurance company. It's the world's oldest insurance company. Okay? It's established in the 1800s. If I remember, it's 1863 or 1873. What it is that they started, how the company started in this insurance business is, they realized that this guy, the previous owner, realized that, well, you know, we need to protect ourselves against risk. Right? Insurance is all about risk management. So, for example, if you buy a life insurance, what are you protecting? In case, touch wood, something happens, there's some form of compensation given to you. So, what does the insurance do? The insurance hedge the risk. So, why they ask you to go for medical checkup? Right? If your medical is no good, premium higher. If your medical is good, premium lower. If you're older, your premium is higher. Because the likelihood of something happen is higher. It's managing the risk. Right? So same thing for insurance, for industrial project. This is the same concept they are doing. So what they do is that they basically manage the risk that in case something happens, then there's a sum of compensation. If nothing happens, so be it. Right? It's just like same thing for the car insurance. Why will you buy? If something happens, if met with the accident, there's some form of payment to repair the car or to replace the car. So factory mutual started this concept, right? Why it comes, as I mentioned, right? It oscillates the building in this way, and in this way. So we need to make sure that this system here, right, the calculation is able to take the seismic force. Okay, so how do you do this calculation? Actually, it's very simple. FPW, which is the horizontal force, is determined by the seismic coefficient of the horizontal force, the CP, times the water field pipe times 1.15%. So that is the calculation. Okay. Our software automatically calculates that for you. Okay, I'll talk about the WP first, it's easy, right? Water field pipe weight, you can get it, right? From any, our software also has that, right? But basically, there is a standard weight of what a Schedule 40 pipe for 1 inch will weigh with the water, right? Why this plus 1.15% is for the FS weight? It could be the coupling, it could be the valve. Right? So this is, now the understanding is understanding this CP. There are two standards that govern the seismic bracing. These are the two standards. For FM is 2-8. For NFPA is 13. Chapter 9. Don't worry, I will make this copy of the presentation for you. It's only for you to write. Okay. Now, this is important. You got to listen to this. If it's an FM job, the way to determine this CP is different compared to an NFPA. I will share you the difference now. Okay? For FM 2-8, you need to go to the FM 1-2 data sheet, which is a worldwide map for FM on the seismic zone. Okay? For the NFPA 13, you have to go to a website, which is the US Geological Services, to look up the short response time and then look up the coefficient table in the NFPA. So it's a bit more work. Let's talk about FM1 first. FM is very simple. They have this map of the world, and in this case, I just extract out the Indonesia. What they have done is that they zone it accordingly by the probability of a big earthquake happening in 50 years, 100 years, 250 years, and 500 years. So, in this case, they have determined that the CP here, the highest is at 0.75. So what it is here, right? So if you look at this, it's 0.75 times 1.15 times 1 times the water field pipe weight. So you determine this FPW. Got it so far? Don't have to worry, the software calculates everything. I need you all to understand, because your consultants will ask you, how do you calculate this? The software will calculate, but you will be able to explain how this is calculated. Right? Okay, now, NFPA 13. What you need to do is this. You go to this website, right? And then this website maybe has made some changes. Last time, I can just type in the location Jakarta. Now I can't. I need to find the longitude and the latitude on the position. Type in here. It will automatically tell you what is this short response time, the peak ground acceleration factor, and here it shows is a 1.39 G,
Then you have to go to NFPA Chapter 9 to look at this table, and 1.39 will run it at 1.4. They use a CP of 0.65. So if you use a CP from FM, it's 0.75. If you use a CP for NFPA, it's 0.65. What do you think will be the impact? The difference on the CP value, what do you think will be the impact? The impact will be the spacing on the brace. The higher the value means your spacing is smaller. That's all it is. Shorter. So, understand that for NFPA 13, you need to go to this website, type in the lateral and longitudinal position, determine this peak drum acceleration factor, go look up the table in NFPA, and then you get this CP. Again, in our software, if you choose is FM or UL, it will calculate it automatically for you. Any question on the calculation of the horizontal force? You must have that calculation in order to determine the spacing. Okay, no question, I'll move on. So the software, if you go to the website, click on partners, right? Type in your email address, right? In this case, because you are not registered, you cannot go in. I need to register this for you. Then you log on and you click on configure product. Then this whole bracing page will come out. So you start to edit the name, the company's name and all that, and the number and the project. So in this case it's project 1, 2 and 3. Because sometimes you may be not doing one project, you'll be doing many projects. And this is automatically saved. Okay? So here, right, you save it, it becomes in the system. This is my profile. Right? In this case, I use Michael Liao uses profile. Next is you start to go on to edit on the project. So you can type in the name of the project. It's good to have a name of the project because when you want to edit, right, you know which project. So if you want Goodyear, you will PD Goodyear. Procter and Gamble, right? So you can edit it again. You need to save, right? Then click on design. So these are the submittal forms, right? So in each case, there's always a tick on how to use it on this side, right? You can choose the language in English, imperial or metric. If it's an NFPA project standard, you need to determine which standard. I usually tell people to use the latest, the 2013 version. If it's an FM, you click on FM. Because remember, the CP is different, right? So if you use an FM job, you click on NFPA, they give you the wrong CP. Right? They give you the wrong seismic coefficient factor. The thing about our software is it's very dummy proof. Once you do something wrong, it will not go to the next step. Then the building code. If Indonesia don't have a building code, put none. In here, this is a Canadian building code, this is the US building code, IBC. I don't think Indonesia follows any standards. Then click on If it's an FM job, click on FM. If it's an NFPA job, click on UL. Because same thing, this determines the CP, right? If it's FM, it will automatically show you this. So if you click on how many years, then the software is determined that there's a 0.75 factor. If it's 100 years, it's a 0.5. If it's 250 years, it's 0.4. 500 years, no need to do. Anything above 500, 250 years, there's no need for bracing. Okay, remember? This. Then, in order to go to the next step, you just put the word add. You go to the next step. Right? Then you type here sway brace. Okay? Then, just from technical purpose, we always like to give a bracing ID. That means the location you're doing, you give an ID to it. So that when you want to talk to a customer, you can talk about which location. Right? So if you say for Goodyear, the transformer room, we can put it as Goodyear transformer room or Goodyear 1A. So you can go back and refer. Now, remember when I talked about this bracing member? In both standards for NFPA and FM, there is 4 degrees allowed. That means to say, you can install it at 30 to 40, 45 to 59, 60 to, I think, 74, 75 to 90. Each angle has a different effect because of the compression. So I always go for the more general or easy to install is the 45 to the 59 degrees. Other thing that you need to remember is the distance from the pipe, from the roof, right? Because there is a requirement. So when you in a new project, you try to find out what's the distance. The distance is here, from here to here. Maximum distance allowed is 3 meters. Because anything more than 3 meters, there's no more compression. Right? It's too long. It's just like if I compare this, right? This has a better compression than this length. Right? So if it's more than 3 meters, this doesn't have the strength anymore to withstand the force. 3 meters is the maximum. 3 meters, yeah. But usually, what Michael tells the engineering team is just to put it to the max, the 3 meters, because it's a worst case scenario. Because in the standard there is this Ki over R. Ki over R is the standardness ratio of the pipe, right? And in their requirement is always a 200. If you look at the NFPA standard, you look at the FM standard, this requirement is 200. Again, I will make the FM standard, you can download it from the website, there's no problem. For NFPA 13, again, I will give it to you, but do not circulate to people because it's copyright issue. I'm not supposed to do that, but I think it's important for you to have the standard, to read it, to understand it. Okay? It's only available in English. Right? So in this case, it determines from here, this becomes 1.9. So when the contractor starts to cut the length, they know they need to cut it at 1.9 or slightly longer, right? Because it has to be slightly longer to be able to go into here. Okay, I will quickly go through this. Okay, then this is the pipe brace, right? Right? So the standard ratio, you default it at 200. It's a requirement. Now, let's talk more important, not so much on the software, but really what is the 5 common type of braces available. Okay? I would only go through 4, or I'll go through all 5, but again, just understand the principle behind. It's more of the engineering team that requires to understand this better. Right? So, a lateral brace, in our software, it will come out with this part number, ES Erico Seismic Bracing Part TW, or lateral brace. So usually, what we do is that if you get a request to do a design, ask for the drawing to be in AutoCAD or in DWG format, so that your engineering team can start to plot the type of brace and the location of the brace onto the drawing, so the installers can just follow it easily. Right? So for lateral brace, what is the 2 groups required? Group 1, whether it's a feet or cross mains, regardless of size, you will need a brace at the maximum given a maximum spacing of 12.2 meters, and at the end of the pipe, you require 1.8 meter space, maximum spacing you need to put a brace. So, if I take this as the pipe, and this is flowing in this way, the end of the pipe, maximum spacing is 1.8, then you need to put a brace. Then the distance allowed is a 12.2 meters for a lateral brace. So if I use this example, this pipe is ending this way. Here is one brace, right? Maximum spacing is 12.2 meter is the maximum spacing. It doesn't mean that it always happens at 12.2. Because if I'm using a 0.75 factor, it may be even smaller than the spacing could be smaller than 12.2. It could be a 9, it could be a 10. Right? But there is the standards call for the maximum spacing at 12.2. Because I have been questioned by some consultants or contractors that if it's maximum, why don't you just put at 12.2? If you can put it at 12.2 or in every project, then why do you need to calculate the horizontal force? Right? The horizontal force determines the spacing, right? Remember? And the number of brace. Right? So if one is 12.2, so why we need calculation? We just every 12.2 meter we just put one. So it's not as what people think it is. 12.2 is the maximum spacing.